Joining us now, Joshua Schiller. He's an attorney representing Carlin's family estate. Thank you for being with us this morning. At what point did your clients become aware of this podcast and the use of George Carlin's voice?
Almost instantaneously, because it made such a sensation on the internet, as these things are prone to do these days. But Kelly Carlin, who's George Carlin's only daughter, immediately saw it and immediately reacted on Twitter, and received an outcrying of immediate support in response to what people clearly saw as an inappropriate theft of intellectual property.
Let's get to the personal side of it just for a moment here, and then we can talk about the legal implications. But for her to hear her father's voice in this type of special, how did that land with her and others close to him?
She was deeply offended that anyone would try to do that. Disassociating the family side of it. She's a protector of her father's legacy and his important contribution to our culture, and in particular to comedy. And so she felt both responsible as the protector of that legacy, as well as offended on a personal level.
So before taking the step to sue the media company and these podcast hosts, did you all reach out to them and try to understand better what was going on? What was the next step once you realized it was out there?
We filed the suit pretty quickly after being engaged, this captured such a incredible amount of publicity very quickly. We felt it was important to file our lawsuit, which caused them to take the video down immediately. But it doesn't repair the injury of what's going on, because this video exists. It's been circulated all over the internet, and we'll have to take a lot of steps in order to try to remove the thing permanently. And that's a complicated process to do.
So the claims of AI, those are no longer valid in your understanding. They're now saying it was a fictional podcast character created by two human beings. What's your legal strategy to combat that?
Well, we don't know if it's the truth or not, right? That's a comment that they made in an evasive manner as they were taking the video off their own website and doing nothing else, from what I can tell, on Friday afternoon. Whether they're telling the truth or not, we'll talk to them about that. In the case, there'll be depositions, document production, and other elements that will reveal the facts. But regardless, they still violated the intellectual property of Mr. Carlin by attempting to use his likeness to sell their video. And it begs a lot of questions. Why did they lie to their audience? What was the purpose of using his reputation and goodwill in order to get people to watch your video?
So prior to the release of the video and the podcast, what was shared with the audience about what they were about to hear?
Well, there's a number of comments that they made. That there's still about 8 or 9 videos up on their website that you can see where they're talking about the video, and some of it's discussed in our complaint. But they talked about resurrecting George Carlin. They talked about how this video shows the new George Carlin, but they were clearly trying to take advantage of two things, right? Technology and the importance and the wide recognition we all have in the multiple and incredible uses of AI right now. And then also capturing the legacy of someone who was phenomenal, controversial, but really a game-changing, altering figure in brilliant content. And a mentor to many comedians as well. And here they are taking one of the great legacies, taking this technology, and what they're showing us is the dangers involved in it, whether they wrote it or not. The ability of a voice modulator to create a voice and create the impression of someone who's no longer with us, or frankly, to create an impression of someone who's alive, as we learned was happening in New Hampshire during the primaries. There were robocalls impersonating President Biden. There are a lot of dangers associated with this technology, and this lawsuit is demonstrating one of them.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.